Okay, so once more back into the fray, and we're gonna talk about the third and final chapter of the Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy. Jay, you ready?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm more than ready to talk about this.
All right, well, let's get to it. What would you want to start off with?
I guess like the last time, just general feelings about the season. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it?
Overall, I would say that I did enjoy it. The second run through definitely gave me more issues, but I think that's the same with all three seasons.
I think I agree with you. Like, yeah, every time I went back and rewatched it, it was I noticed other things on the second viewing. I think it hit me harder with this one because I was in the middle of writing a lot of stuff to help you with Resolve. And so, like, story was very much in my mind as I was watching it. And oh man, the inconsistencies hit me like a freight train, man. It was
See,
bad.
that's one of the notes that I wrote just like on the back of my little piece of paper here is that this show in itself it made the whole Earthrise season useless, redundant, superfluous. Like it's just
What was the point?
we can talk about like one of the main issues that does that later, but just overall like the whole last season, it's all just it happened. Like the only things that really matter anymore are Skylinks in the Dead Universe and then arriving at Earth.
Yeah, basically just Megatron hunting down the Autobots. That's it. Like that's really it. But yeah, I generally I did enjoy this season. But it's like diminishing returns the more you watch it. So I enjoyed it the first time. Second time I was like, oh, there's a problem here, there's a problem here, and then I started kind of reviewing it one last time to kind of just prepare myself for this. Yeah, I told you I wrote down like four pages of notes.
Yeah, I just kind of wrote down like general thoughts and then like we'll expand onto it. But
I think my issue is that I loved Beast Wars. Like I think that's part of the reason because I could tell that this writer was very knowledgeable like when it came to the characters because there's a lot of things in there that a lot of people would not know unless you paid attention to Beast Wars. But it was like, yeah, you understand most of the characters, but not all of them because can we talk about Beast Wars Megatron? Because I have the biggest issue with it.
oh yeah, absolutely. Like obviously, like this show has the same like inconsistencies and problems as the other ones, but like we don't need to very much talk about like how they still drone on, how like certain things just aren't right. But this show brings forth its whole new form of issues, and Megatron. That was honestly one of the main problems I had going into it.
So I kind of had to laugh because I was like, Siege and Earthrise. What was our biggest issue with Megatron was his lips. This one, this Beast Wars Megatron is just a butt kisser, and I'm like, bro, what's up with your Megatrons? Like, why do you hate Megatron? Dude, like, what's up with this writer?
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know Beast Wars as well as you do, so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, dude, I memorized almost like the entire first season's lines. That's how bad it is.
Hey, no, that is okay. I'm kind of the same way with animated, but like you probably grew up like watching a lot of Beast Wars when you were younger, so that really makes sense.
Oh yeah, so like funny story. I grew up with Generation 1 and I loved it. But, it was kind of hard to continue with it because there wasn't really a lot of people around me that liked it as much, so I fell off. And then I went into the well, I didn't go into the military. I was a naval cadet. So like a lot of that was drilled into me around this time when Beast Wars started. And I just realized that I really loved the way how these characters were written. And my love of writing stems from Beast Wars. I literally, while I was in like my barracks, I would actually start writing down like the situations for the characters. I started like analyzing like their traits and things and just figuring it out. So While I was in the while I was with my cadets, I was writing Beast Wars fan fiction. So it's like yeah, I have a love of this series. And it's just so funny, like when I say it out loud like that. But yeah, man. So that's why I both love and hate this season because they get a lot of things right. Oh, I will definitely say they got Black Arachnia and Air Razor. I love those two characters. Like I thought that they were great.
Honestly, seeing Ares or how she was in the show, like before when I was just gathering like general like Beast Wars toys from the Kingdom line, I was like, I don't really want to grab Airraiser because I haven't really seen Beast Wars enough to like have like that much of a like for the character like you do and like how a lot of other people do. But after seeing her in this show, I actually went out and bought her.
Funny enough, they treat Airraiser with more respect in this season, in this series, than they did in Beast Wars itself. They really do a lot of things with Airraiser. They make everybody fall in love with Airraiser in this series.
Hey, we stay in a bisexual bird spider.
It was so funny. I don't know if you know about that. Just a little history lesson for some people who don't. When Beast Wars was being imported to Japan, they changed a lot of the series around. They made it more of a comedy. And they also decided to change Airraiser's gender. They made her him. So when they got the episodes that showed that Tigertron and Airraiser were now a couple, they unintentionally made them a gay couple. So it was like, oh, okay.
Haha. Gay in Japan.
Yeah, that's the reason why I laughed when you said that, because it was like, oh, dude, there's so much. There's so much fun
There's so much you don't even know.
But yeah, going back to Beast Wars Megatron, he, as a character, he wasn't bad. Like you said, he was a simp for original G1 Megatron, and I could not get behind that. I feel like he should have been more cunning. Like he should have been like, I'm gonna play you for my own ends.
Yeah.
Because like this series establishes that even though like he got all his information from another version of that Megatron, the version that he was dealing with in this timeline is not the same guy.
Well, him showing up and being there and listening to all that, it just shows that he is completely different. Like he's trying to follow the same footsteps, but he doesn't know that following in these footsteps ultimately spells his downfall.
It spells the downfall for, I mean, well, if you jump to the end of the series, there's a lot of really tragic like storytelling going on here, which is part of what I did love. But like just in general, when it comes to the structure of this story, it contradicts itself because we were talking about time travel always gives people headaches. This one has two different ways of establishing time travel.
Yeah, with the Beast Wars characters, and then also with, the Galvatron and Nemesis Prime?
Well, that, and also it's the fact that, like you said, with the Maximals, they established that because of the actions of Optimus Prime taking the Allspark from Cybertron, it affected their future, but it's also like you have a dead future, but somehow you still had inhabitants that became Maximals and Predacons. But then later on with Galvatron and Nemesis Prime, you establish that whatever you do in the past has no effect on their future because their future's already written. It just creates a new timeline. So I was just like, wait, you can't have it both ways. Like, how does this work? Is it you are in the past and you affect the future, or you're in the past and you create a new timeline? What's the way? How does this work?
The Maximals are. It seems like the Maximals are more focused on like. You messed up our past and you messed up our past, your future, and it messed up everything for us. But the Predacons it's almost like they're talking about multiverse.
But even then, it's like with that they have the Golden Disc, which shows the future. No matter it shows you like how the future will play out. So it's still a question of how does your time travel work in your story?
What is it that changes that makes it either concrete or very easily changed?
Like that's another reason why I love the original Beast Wars so much, because they did that and they did it correctly, and that's one of the reasons why it's so still loved to this day. it's like when you find in the original series when you find the Ark for the first time, and then here's Beast Wars Megatron coming in, and he's like, I'm gonna kill Optimus and just change everything. Yo, for a whole like summer, I was like, what the hell is gonna happen next?
Yeah, because that was like the end of the second season, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have like we were like I was talking to some friends who like were like, yo, dude, I'm into Beast Wars, and I was like, oh my god, friend, yay, let's talk about Beast Wars. We were talking about like that's how you tell a story, like that's how you tell a story. You have these really really good moments, but you have to work yourself there, and I feel like this season didn't quite do it, because like you said, it basically made half of its story with Earthrise irrelevant. That was a big problem for me. I really hated that. I don't want to like keep talking about that, because honestly it's giving me a headache. It's because time travel
The time travel just,
One thing I did really love was just having the Autobots and Decepticons team up with their descendants, the Maximals and Predacons. That was cool. I will never deny like fan service like that. That was so much fun.
Sure. And the story-wise, it kind of worked out well, but a lot of the voices for like the Maximals and Predacons, they were kind of meh. Except for Rat Trap, I think was really good, and Dinobot grew on me, I should say. I
really did like Dinobot, but I'm going to agree with a lot of other people and say I would have preferred it if it was Tigertron's voice, and then you give Tigertron's voice actor to Dinobot. If they had just swapped them, I think it was really good. I was hearing it, and I'm like, yo, this would have worked a lot better. But I still think that the voice actor who did Dinobot was really cool. But like you, it took me some time to get used to it. But Optimus Primal, funny enough, I kind of just liked from the beginning. I thought he was different, but still endearing. I mean, I know not everybody's going to agree with that, but I liked it.
It's really hard for me to say, like, in like comparison with like Gary Chalk and David Kay, it's really hard for me to say like that it was perfectly fine for what it was, but it was all right.
I mean, like, you can't help but like see, like, you hear certain voices when you see characters, and I'm not gonna lie, I was sorely missing Scott McNeil for like a lot of this. I think it would have heightened the series to like the 10th degree. Like, it would have just made it so much better, regardless of story.
Well, and I follow David Kay on Twitter, and he's like, I didn't have anything going on, but like, I guess they picked whatever they thought was best. It's like, they picked what they thought could save them money.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was literally like, you guys are non-union workers, so we'll pay whatever.
That's why they got John Bailey to come in and record Optimus's lines in Bumblebee before they brought in Peter Cullen.
Yeah. I mean, like, guys, I know you want to save money, but like, seriously, sometimes like quality speaks so much more. But hey, we got what we got. Not everybody was bad, and
no.
Well, just it's done. So like, what is done.
Although I will say, I just thought about this. It's got to be a slap in the face for you and other Beast Wars fans to see Scorponok just reduced to a drone.
Yo, I paused when you saw like 15 Scorponoks just show up in that one scene, and I'm like, what? So you couldn't bring in Waspinator, you couldn't bring in Terrorism, but you brought in a whole bunch of Scorponauts for no reason.
Character from Beast Wars, they just didn't bring it in, but they brought in Scorponok and made him a Viacon, basically.
They made him a Viacon. Yo, I mean, so the face I made, I was like, no, what? No. You want to know what's really bad? I pulled a Family Guy and literally looked at the screen and went, "Oh, that's just nasty." I could not. I couldn't. I just could not. They could have done so much with that character, like any of them, like just because it felt unfair that you had pretty much the entirety of the Maximal cast from season 1 and half of the Predacon cast, including also like they really did change Black Arachnia a lot. They made her a Predacon, period.
Honestly, with Black Arachnia, they just kind of made her like her animated incarnation. which I'm fine with, but
Animated established itself as a very different time. Like, it was a very different series. But this one was piggybacking off of Beast Wars. So it really, I mean, they even did the whole thing with Code of Hero with Dinobot. Like, he quoted himself. It was like, huh?
we'll give the fan service to the one that fucking kills himself, but not the woman who everyone still loves just as much.
Listen, Dinobot is one of, if not my favorite character. So I didn't mind it as much, but man, I looked at it and I said, this is just they're trying to do like a copy and paste situation here with him, and it's not working.
No, I totally get you, but like since I don't know Beast Wars as much as you and other people do, like I felt something when Dinobot died, so it's like, oh, that actually made me kind of like it.
Oh no, there was like there was a lot of like homages to like the actual relationship that Dinobot and the Maximals had in Kingdom. The funniest one to me was when Optimus goes, like he's talking to him as he's dying, and Dinobot goes, "Would I have made a good Maximal?" And he says, "Oh, you would have been the worst." And I was like, "Oh yes, that's absolutely true."
Just like, would you have taken me? Yes, but you would have sucked on our team. It's like, yeah.
I mean, and then like the whole thing, like he calls Rat Trap vermin, and I grinned. I really did grin, but it was like so little. Like it was just a little bit. But you know, again, like I said, I have to disassociate myself from the original Beast Wars for this story because they're trying to tell something new. But like I said, at the same time, they're piggybacking off of the nostalgia for Beast Wars. So, like, we're basically filling in the blanks for a lot of things ourselves.
Well, and they had to cut it down because of the last episode, because they decided to shoehorn in them going back to Cybertron, and that whole last episode in itself.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so I have a question.
What's
when they're going back to Cybertron, they cut back into the dead universe.
Yes.
Why?
Oh, why? Great question. So, anyway. That's pretty much the writer's answer as well.
Oh, you know what? Going back to Earthrights being irrelevant, where did Decius go?
Exactly.
They made it such a, like, he was going to be a big thing in Kingdom, right? At the end of Earthrise.
They did so much to make the Quintessons, Double Dealer, everyone else for that team, even Scorponok and that whole scene. It's not even like half of Earthrise is rendered like unnecessary. It's nearly the entire series of Earthrise.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, remember how we kept saying like Elita 1 is the best leader?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, dude.
Here we go, man.
This established it like completely. I was okay. You want to know why I hated this while I still loved it? Like I said, I think the love stems from my love of Beast Wars, but like the final episode pissed me off because they show that they died, and I'm like, then what the hell was the point?
I think Dr. Lockdown said it best in his video, because the show unintentionally made us love Elita, but then them doing this in this series makes them say, oh, we don't want you to actually care about them, or if we do, we want you to build them up so that way you could feel crushed like this. But it's like, why?
But that's not what happened. Like, you just pissed us off, because it's like you took half of Earthrise to show us this, when you could have, like I told you in the other video, take everything that happened on Cybertron and establish that in Siege.
Yes.
Like, push that all to Siege, so that way you have more episodes to focus on what's going on with the Autobots in space. I said this a long time ago, and then you come back to Cybertron and everybody's dead, despite the fact that you were kind of showing in Kingdom that there was a chance that they could still be alive with the ghost of Elita from the Allspark. And I'm like, then what the heck was the point of all of that? Like, what was it?
There was no point at all. Like, the only thing of it is that they didn't realize how much that people would actually care about it, and they just decided to throw it all away. But it also still begs the question, like we're saying, why do it in the first place?
Yeah, I'm sorry. When you said that, my first thought immediately went to, oh, so you mean they pulled a '86 movie again, like killing Optimus Prime?
I mean, with that's kind of understandable why they brought him back to life, because kids were traumatized. That's the whole reason why they didn't kill Duke in the G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, because they realized, like, oh, that's a big mistake.
He's a
like,
big character. Kids were traumatized, and sales are gonna plummet. We can't do that.
We cannot do that. But yeah, with this one, it's like you establish it for a more adult audience. Like, that was what the whole selling point was. But even then, we're like, you did it again. Like, you established a really good character on a really good team, and then you killed them for really no reason. Like, it didn't even push the plot. It just happened in the middle of Earthrise, and we're like, now what? And then we get to Kingdom, and it's like, wait, they're dead? That's it? Just
like you said, all it did was piss us off, and it's.
I want to move on to something kind of funny. So we have established in the Transformers universe that T-posing is the ultimate form of intimidating someone, especially when Ultra Magnus does it.
Oh, yeah. T-posing.
I saw that, he was like, feel my power.
Allspark Ultra Magnus had to just assert his dominance over Optimus Prime.
I loved it. I saw that and I was like, "This is so stupid," but I love it.
It's dumb, but I'm glad that they honestly put that in.
Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was so funny.
No, yeah, we need something lighthearted to get us in between the shit, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot to like in this series.
Absolutely, yes.
I did enjoy Galvatron and Nemesis Prime teaming up to take them on, but I also felt like it was a little late. Like, they should have been shown much earlier to help
that's exactly
establish
what I said. It was really cool seeing them be like what our interpretation of Scourge and Cyclonus is for our shows, and just seeing them kind of act like that, but they didn't do enough.
And then they got rid of them by having the ghost of Alita and everyone else just wish them away, and I was like, but okay.
They pissed us off with 2 moves.
Yeah, right. I just these guys are actually hurting people. Like, they're really strong. How do we get rid of them? Oh, disappear them. But I feel like if they had established them earlier, it would have made the Maximals attack the Autobots. It would have made more sense because they were going on about Nemesis.
Yeah. They knew who Nemesis Prime was, so it's like they recognize Optimus's body type. That's he's red instead of being all black. So it's like, show us why the Maximals are afraid of Nemesis. Like, you can have Galvatron and them team up towards the end, like how you did, but establish at least Nemesis more.
You could have shown throughout the series they are another threat while we're still dealing with the Predacons and the Decepticons, and here we have Galvatron and Nemesis Prime as yet another threat, and it would have made the stakes so much higher, and I felt like it would have made the story a little bit better, because at this point, any little bit helps.
Honestly, if they did that, it would have made their whole Avengers Assemble thing towards the end. It would have made it feel more earned.
Also, yeah, that ending with the arc, that could have been the reason why everything, they're able to beat everyone, because they literally had a Titan on their side. And I'm like, there you go. That's I mean, it was still cool.
Oh, yeah,
I actually
cool,
like that.
It just makes me think about it right now. They don't do anything with that anymore. They have a battle the Decepticons on Earth, but then he just transforms back, and then they leave, and nothing else.
Yeah, because
just
reasons.
Cause. I mean, it's honestly, that's what they did with the Titan class figures for the War for Cybertron trilogy. Is they put Omega Supreme at the end of Siege because they put Scorponok in Earthrise because
I mean, they did show that quick scene of Scorponok versus Omega Supreme. Toy sales, merchandising. there's still a lot that like I keep having to say it. Like I did enjoy this, I did like it, but
like obviously, but like, oh my god.
yeah, I just also like I need them to establish like a set of rules when it comes to the Allspark as to what it can actually do, because it's capable of like giving power to a planet. It can create buildings out of nothing pretty much, but it also affects biological life. Like it was affecting the forest around it and like disappearing trees. How? Since when?
We need them to establish a lot of rules, like not only that, but like also with Dinobot when he died and his spark for some reason when it went into Optimus Primal, it phased him into the final battle with Megatron.
I feel like that's all it was set out. That's what it was trying to do. It was like, oh, we need to explain how Primal can get to this battle because he needs to be there. But then he really didn't, because like Primal was beating Megatron, like he was beating G1 Megatron. Optimus comes over and is like, "Stop! I'm gonna give him the Matrix." And Primal's like, "Yo, what?"
I mean, yeah, it works out because like it works out because, but also like, yeah, you were right.
We're actually in the writers' room when you say stuff like that,
and they would have won, but.
Oh my god!
Whatever.
I'm sorry, like I can't. I'm laughing so hard that you're like and they win because and you stop.
That's kind of what it is because.
Oh my god! So many times I'm just like that happened because. Moving on.
It happened just because, and like because plot. Like there's nothing else to say. Like it happened because.
Because like I was saying to myself. Like we have to validate Optimus Prime's choice to get rid of the Allspark. So Alita's like, you know what? I don't mind that you killed Cybertron. I don't mind that you killed my cohorts. I don't care that you killed me. You were right, Optimus. And I'm like, because
that takes away everything that she was arguing about the whole show. Again,
she was right. Neither one was right the entire time.
Like again, Dr. Lockdown in his video said it. Like she was fighting him the whole way, and she said he was wrong. He shouldn't have done this, but because she's dead now.
I know, right? Oh, now I see the way. Like because you're dead, because that would mean that you were right the entire time. But okay. Sure, let's validate Optimus Prime.
Yeah, if since you're dead, that would mean that you would be right. Because if you were wrong about him sending the Allspark away, you would still be alive.
Okay, so you know what this ultimately made me believe? Is that out of the entire trilogy, I think that Siege, the first one, is the strongest outing because it's the most concrete, it's the most together. You know, it didn't have all of this... It didn't get murky until later on with Earthrise and Kingdom. Like I said, it was easily established on Cybertron, and you know we didn't have all these problems because this was a new Prime, and you know, our characters are still alive. So, like, I have to say, like, Siege was my favorite outing of all three so far because of the issues. Earthrise was okay, but ultimately, like you said, meant nothing.
Rendered redundant.
Very redundant. I mean, still fun. Still had its fun moments. I like the mercenaries. I thought they were a cool team. I just wish that it was made up of more than just selects.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh god. And selects that were done correctly. Oh my god, is exhaust. What the? I still can't get over that. I'm still mad about that. And then and Kingdom. Time travel bullshit. Just time travel bullshit.
Kingdom, it all didn't matter, but Optimus was right.
Optimus is right. I mean, like I said, you know what it is? It's like up until the final episode, I was like, you know what, this is actually quite enjoyable. Because I wasn't paying attention to the contradiction of time travel that was established in it. I didn't notice that until the second viewing. But man, when we got to that ending and Alita was like, you were right, Optimus, when I heard her say those words, I visibly got angry. Like, because it didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Because they even established in Earthrise that Optimus recognized he was wrong. He had a whole therapy session with Skylink.
Yeah.
Like, you can have Optimus make mistakes. You can have Optimus do things that seem wrong, but are actually right. That not like the Allspark. That was wrong. But you can do things. You can have him do things that were ultimately the right thing to do, but were something so difficult that nobody could do it, and no one will see that it was the right thing at the time. But they didn't do that. They had him make the wrong choice. They had him. And then they just had him keep making wrong choice after wrong choice and being out of character. I will still not get over the whole bullshit tell me you forgive me thing in Earthrise.
Oh yeah. That you know what's funny? I don't think I hated that line as much as others. It was still stupid. It was still very stupid. Just because I think I got more upset with the whole scene of them in the Allspark chamber with Primal literally holding down G1 Megatron, and then Optimus just comes over and is like, no more. Here's the Matrix. What? Like, I mean, yes, the Matrix was like, here, we're going to show you a vision that you have to give up in order to win. I would have been like, why? we can finish him off right now. That takes care of more than half of our issues. We can go back to Cybertron earlier, and
like, no, we had to booby trap Megatron one more time to make him think that he won.
I mean, like, the moment that you know what's funny? When they got back to Cybertron and they saw that it was like an ice world now, I thought that they were going to be like, you know what? Even though we established that going back in time creates a new timeline, I think we should do it because there's nothing here for us.
The planet's dead. It's a barren wasteland. It's got snow on it, something I don't think Cybertron has ever had.
No.
That just shows that it's the damage is damn near irreversible.
I mean, the Allspark itself said, hey, I'm dying because I'm not on Cybertron. Take me back.
Honestly, I kind of wish that when they got there, it would have been too late.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what they could have done, but like...
I mean, that's when you do the whole time travel thing that you have established in your continuity. Like, whichever one you pick, I don't care. I just... Like I said, it gives me a headache the more I think about it. But it's just... And then, like, Unicron. Unicron's another thing. Why is he so invested in Cybertron?
It's another thing that, like you were saying with Beast Wars, we're supposed to just fill in the blanks. But he's just there because he's got a new toy, and he's the ultimate evil.
Right, but you need to establish why, to make us invested. Like, yes, I am excited for Unicron. What is the reason for him being there? You can't just throw him in there and just say he's there because. But again, writer's room. That was literally like on the wall. Somebody wrote that on the white wall and was like, story? Because. Let's go. Gimme.
It's like, why is this happening? Fans will figure it out. They'll connect the dots. Just move on.
I mean, holy crap. I'm laughing, but at the same time, I'm crying on the inside. But yeah, you know what? How about, generally, were there any, like, scenes or characters that you absolutely loved when watching?
One thing that I only have one other thing on here that I want to talk about, and it is something I like. I did kind of like that they made Starscream go crazy.
Okay, I knew I was forgetting something. That was cool. That was very cool.
Like having him listen to old Megatron on the Golden Disc, that's pretty cool. And then having Unicron talk to him, just making him so afraid. Do more of that. Establish him more and have him make others go crazy, just with how fucking menacing he could be and what he can do.
There's so much they could have done with that. I love that. It was very Cthulhu, very Call of Cthulhu-ish. Just the fact that yes, talking to a god, a dark god, would drive you crazy. And I'm like, that's amazing. And he realized this is what the fact that Starscream looked at it and said, "Oh my God, everything that's happened at this point was all his doing," was such an amazing moment to me that I said, "That's what the story should have been from the beginning."
Yes,
establish this, just have this established. If you could go back and make sure that plot point is shown to the audience, and then you just fix some of the underlining issues that we talked about. This could have been really, really good, but I will not deny, that story point was so well done. That's part of the reason why I enjoyed it. Like, it was that good to me.
It was a really good thing. Like, and just having him say, we need to work together so that we can stop this with the Autobots and Decepticons, and having him say, Megatron, stop.
Yeah.
It's happening like the way he plans it, and he thinks, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. Listen to me.
Yeah. You know what that reminded me of? Something that I actually liked from Armada. Like, how Starscream was like, you need to stop what you're doing and notice Unicron's a threat. We need to team up. And I'm like, oh my god, did they really just pull one of the best things from Armada into this?
They tried. They really tried.
That was good, but the fact that they made him crazy, like he saw, like literally spoke to Unicron and was like, oh my god, like, this is bad. Like, the fact that it was Starscream of all people, of all bots.
Right, like, having him see, like, there's no point in overthrowing everything. Like, it's just, it's going to happen either way. But, like, if I change things...
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, thank you for bringing that up. I knew I was forgetting something really important. But yeah, that was such an amazing moment to me. And I wish that the series had more moments like that. Like, just like, where it clicked and you realized, oh no, like, this is way worse than I thought it could have been, but in a good way, like, you know what I mean? Going back, Black Arachnia was another great character. Like, the way how she was established. I'm not gonna lie, I giggled a little bit when everybody was having their those visions. And then here's Black Arachnia screaming her head off, like, this wolf is hunting me, like, what is this thing doing? I died. Oh my god, I laughed so hard.
He's come back because he still wants to fuck me.
You know what's funny? I went online and when that happened, people were like, "Oh my god, yay, Black Arachnia and Air Razor," and I was just like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Silverbolt's gonna find a way to come into this timeline and be like, oh no, you're Polly, and I don't care."
This is mine.
Because I mean, like, I don't really care about relationships too much in Transformers, but that's the one relationship where I'm like, no, you don't mess with that. I love Black Arachnia and Silverbolt too much. And the fact that they threw that in there, she's screaming like, he's chasing me, what is that thing? And I'm like, that's your boyfriend.
Oh, speaking of that, though, it kind of makes me upset that they never showed Sunstreaker.
Oh, yeah, when Sideswipe said his name, like, that was...
Actually, yeah. I don't like that they didn't show Sunstreaker, but at the same time, if they did, they would have just done Tiger Track. I'm sure of it. They would have just shown a yellow Sideswipe, just like Sunstreaker. I mean, they didn't put Moonracer in; they just made like a slightly greenish Chromia. True. It would have just been Tiger Track.
They would, yeah, and you know what? They would have shown them from the back only. That was fun. Yeah, there were fun moments in the series. I just wish there was more of that. You know, versus bad storytelling.
Bad storytelling and missed opportunities.
Yeah, oh my god,
that
yeah.
That could honestly be the tagline for all three series, is just bad story and missed opportunity.
True. But you know what? How about this? One thing I will not deny that I am very grateful for when it comes to this trilogy, yo, this toy line was legit. I love this toy line.
Honestly, these three toy lines have been some of the best toys that we have gotten in a long time. Like, they have some of the best engineering, articulation. It's all done so incredibly well.
I would just say, I think it's because of COVID. It was because of what's going on. Some of the quality control could have been better. Like, for some figures, I mean, but like, in general, I agree with you. Like, these, I look at some of my older figures and I go, well, you're being replaced. Hey, how you doing, Earthrise Prime? You're amazing.
Right, exactly. Like, oh, you had the reveal the shield grapple? Interesting.
Yeah, that's nice. But yeah, man, I still enjoyed this series overall. It's just one of those things where now that it's done, I look back and I go, this could have been better. But at the end of the day, did I enjoy myself? Yes. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to for me.
100% in agreement with you there.
Yeah, and honestly, like, yeah, and also T-posing is the ultimate way to This T-pose. I actually have my Ultra Magnus T-pose in front of the others now. I just left him there. Oh my god. Yeah, but yeah, man. I honestly did enjoy. I did enjoy it. I'm kind of glad that this all came out before we finished Resolve because it also helped us to avoid
anything else that was similar, like how they did similar to our other shows.
Yeah, right. I was like, funny enough, I realized that I put in one thing that was kind of similar, but I did this again before the series came out, and it was the whole thing of with Elita One dealing with her team on Cybertron, and I wrote that in, and I look back and I go,
she needs more just because she could be established as a cool leader.
She is like, and that's the one thing I think the Warfare Cybertron trilogy did well, and I'm definitely going to keep that in my notes because I liked her. I really did like her. I think this was the best version of Elita One we've gotten in a long time. Even in the comics, I wasn't that big a fan of the IDW version of her back in the day. I thought she was a little too warmongery. But this version, I was like, this is a very good version of her. Like, well-established leader. She has a heart. She cares. She's not controlling. Sorry, she knows when to take charge. I love that version, and the fact that they just made her.
They just killed her off.
They did to her. Yeah, that's what hurts the most about this series. Like, it made me care about a character who I didn't care as much about before. Yeah, just I feel like she deserves better at this point.
And she'll get better with us.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Anything else you want to say or like talk about?
Nothing else I really had to say about the show. I guess if you want a better version of the Siege show, you could go watch Target Alpha Trion from Crosshair Productions.
Yeah, yes, no, nice shot, man. They just watched it the other day and it was so good.
Needs a shout out from us.
Yeah. Oh, and you want really good voice acting? Hey, Gary Chalk as Hound, man. There you go. You want real voice work? There you go.
Gary Chalk and Peter Spellos. Honestly, that's the way to go if you want a good Siege show.
Yeah, but right.
Other than that, I agree with you. It was a good time, but they could have definitely done more. Yeah,
I feel like something that it did give me an idea. This is not really a plug, but this is just something I'm like letting you know. It gave me an idea for a show to do on my own channel. And I already started putting down notes and I started talking to other people about like what I can do with it. But basically, I will talk to you about it more. But like, yes, I plan on doing something with this for the near future. And hopefully it comes together soon and well, and people receive it well. But yeah, at least that's something else I could say that this show did for me. It might help me establish my YouTube channel.
as long as something good can come out of it, then I think it's got to do something right.
That's definitely something right.
Well, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we sign off?
Just keep an eye out for Resolve. We are almost done writing the series, and I'm hoping that people do enjoy it. What we put out there. I know you're hard at work, like trying to do the stop motions for it. I'm trying to finish up the remaining scripts so that we have a really good story.
Honestly, I think that if I can just get stuff like built, if I can learn the stuff that I need to know to make this as good as it can be, then I think this will work out the way that we want it to.
I think so too. I think it's going to come out well. Yeah. All right, man. I guess that's it for me. This was a lot of fun to talk about those three seasons with you.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to talk about stuff with you and do stuff with you all the time.
Oh man, thanks. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I really can't wait to see what other projects you're going to do down the line.
But yeah, definitely check out Jay on his channel. He doesn't have much, but he's got some stuff, and obviously he's got other projects coming. And then obviously, if you like what I do here with Jay and other friends, then stick around. But that's gonna do it for us. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Right, take care. Bye.